Hello, Dina. Today I'm going to take you through a little tour of all the trees that we've planted so far. And there's a bunch, so buckle up. So here, this first little guy, this wispy fella, is a honeycrisp, as well as that next one right there. If you follow the irrigation hoses that I put down, the next one there is also honeycrisp. We got these last year. They were very small. They were just little sticks we put in the ground, and they're growing. Small still, but moving on along. Don't know when we'll have apples, but still doing alive, doing well. Moving on next is we have an Anna apple, which is not a type of apple I've ever heard of. We have the picture here on the tag. It's some sort of yellow apple, it would seem. It's growing great. It's got these funny little leaves at the end. It looks like it's like holding its leaves on its fingertips is kind of how I think about it. But it's put out some new growth recently. A little burned looking, not the best, but whatever. The leaves are on there. It's doing well enough, I would think. Moving on here. So here we're moving into the pear grove. And here is I believe this is a Florida pear of sorts. It's a Florida home pear. Not Florida, by the way, if you look close. Florida, whatever that means. This guy was growing really well. I'm really happy with him. He's got some kind of little illness that is afflicting some of the pears. So, I'm not too sure how he's doing, but I think well enough. He's still putting on new growth. He seems stable and strong enough, so I'm going to have faith in it. I'm not a plant scientist, so I don't know how to deal with all these illnesses necessarily, but we're doing our best. Here's another pear. I think this is an Onyers pear. I think we got these last year. You can see he's really big. Him and then this other pear down there, if you look over there to the right of the mulch bag, that is also another Onyers pear that we put in last year. These are our best growers. They leafed up first. They grew taller than the others, faster. So I'm really happy with them. However, it's going to be a long while. Apparently pears take several years to even put on flowers, but we're here for the long haul. So one day. And we're going to move on over here to a funny named thing, a pineapple pear. Like most of the fruit that I've planted or the variants, I'm not sure that I've ever tried it, but I'm excited to see if it tastes more like pineapple or pear. This is a tree that I got from Walmart, believe it or not, and it did not look nearly this good coming in, but I mean, it's really, really thrived since we put it into the ground. Put a bunch of new growth on. I think all of these leaves that you see are from since we planted it, so doing really well. And now we're going to move on over here. So, okay, honestly, I'm going to shift all the way over here first. So this tree that I'm kind of centering, you can see the gray bark, and we're going to kind of walk it up. So we're pretty confident all the way up there that this is a native persimmon tree. And there's actually several of them all along the tree line here. I think this is another one. There's one more further down. And we have a lot of native persimmons on this tree line, which we didn't know about. But once I found that out, I wanted them to have some pollination partners. And so I bought and planted this guy. This is a persimmon. This is a hachia. It's a Japanese type of persimmon. Similar to the fuyu, I suppose, but a little more bell-shaped. And when I bought it, it actually had some fruit on it already. So I kind of doubt that these will succeed, but why not? Give them a chance. See what happens. And let's move down the rows. Here are some of Amber's favorite citrus. These are satsuma trees. We planted some last year in these plots and they died. They survived over the entire winter, and then as soon as spring came, they seemed to collapse over. So we're not sure what happened. Maybe we needed to water them more over the winter. But we planted them again, and we'll see. I'm not necessarily confident in their success, but I certainly hope they succeed. Let's move on down a little further. There's the Onyers pear that from before. Here is an apple, and I keep a label down here so we can see what kind. This is a pink lady apple that I'm not sure that I've had. I think I've seen them in stores maybe, but I'm really happy with it. Growing big, growing tall. Ooh. Here's our biggest apple. This is a Fuji, I believe. It is. All the labels are upside down. Fuji apple. This guy, I think, put out an actual apple last year, and it leaned him over really far. He's doing really well. He's spreading. Fun fact about fruit trees, an indicator for the tree to put fruit on branches is actually branch weight and how far it sags. So when apple trees kind of go from this kind of bunched up shape right there to this further open shape, it's a sign of maturity. So something interesting to learn. And then here is, I think this is the Golden Delicious apple, which is not an apple I've seen in stores or ever had, but it was a vibrant apple that they had at the store, at Lowe's rather, when I bought this tree. Now, I don't like red delicious apples, so I'm not terribly confident I'll like this, but hey, it's always fun to see. There's Marty, there's Amber. All right, almost done. We got a few more here in the garden itself. We've got some plums. This is a Methley plum, which I believe is a newer plum that I planted this year. Plums are funny. Amber noticed this too. They kind of grow really scraggly, almost shaggy. You know, like teenage hair. Just all over the place. Here's another plum who's, you know, strangely growing here. This is a Rosa plum, as well as this one, which is growing all the way over there. This lateral branch is longer than the actual tree bark is tall, and there's some sort of strange sap tumor on him that oozes in the rain, which you know, it doesn't look great, but it had it last year. The tree leaves all look really well, so you know, I guess trees just ooze sometimes, and that has to be okay. And I think we can get to here. Another plum, again, just very strange, like regular tree, and then this one branch just grew taller than the others and grows to the sky. It's got this very lopsided shape, very funny looking. And there's our latest plum. I think this is a Methley plum, another tree that we got from Walmart. They had a very eclectic collection of trees that didn't look the healthiest, but were fascinating. And we're gonna make our way back to finish with over here. So this bushy looking thing is a pretty established and healthy pomegranate tree that my parents cut down and uprooted and brought on over this year. So my dad planted this probably in January or February, before they left. So pomegranates seem to grow as either bushes or trees, and ours all seem to be wanting to be bushes more than trees, but we'll see. They flowered up last year. They have really strange thick flowers. I think a pomegranate, the strange skin of a pomegranate, well, that's kind of like what their flower petals are made of. It's a very strange, firm, hard flower. Let's move along. Here's a little fig. Here's a little fig that we planted this year. I don't know what kind it is. It's definitely a different kind. I think it's like a black Beers fig, and I don't think it tastes like beer. I think it might be named after some guy named Beer, but I wouldn't know. This is a fig tree. This is one of the ones my parents gave us. This was a stump that we buried last year that grew shoots, and then we cut them. All the shoots seemed to die over winter, so we cut those down, and still going. So if you have a stump, that's really all you need for a fig, as it would turn out. And here's the other fig, putting out lots of nice growth. This is the one that fruited last year, so I'm excited. We'll probably get some more figs off him. A new fig, a Celeste fig, which is just a lovely name, I think. Bought this at Lowe's. Amber calls it the ugly fig because the leaves are a little brown in some places and it leans over, but I love him nonetheless. And here are some more pomegranates. Again, all the pomegranates that we got from my parents. We tried to prune them to be tree shaped, but most of the growth just seems to come out of the root and want to be more like a bush. Similar to over here with some mixed results. One more little fig that we planted here just because it was some type we didn't have. This is the Beers black fig. So I don't know what the other fig was, but tons of figs, tons of varieties, just trying to see what'll grow and what tastes good. And this is, I think, probably our most eclectic tree in the garden. This is a loquat, We thought it was a kumquat, but no, it's a loquat, which is different as it turns out. It has these really big, long leaves. They grow these like strange, almost like tropical looking stems. I'll be honest, this is a very alien looking tree that I don't, you know, I really hope it succeeds. I would love to try whatever kind of fruit this has, but yeah, in coming months and years, we'll see how it does. It was a lovely gift. My mom grew this from seed, she told me, which again, I don't think she's ever had a loquat either. She just wanted to see if she could do it. So that's it, Dina. That's all the trees in the garden. I think we went over 20 some odd trees, and took a little while, but yeah, everything's growing well. Nothing's providing fruit yet, except some of the more established things like the figs. And we're excited to watch stuff grow. It brings me a lot of joy to be out here and see all the leaves come out, especially as the spring goes on. Well, that's it. Thank you, Dina. Thanks for listening. Bye.